in action. So what are we talking about today? Why are we here today? Well, I don't know why I'm here. Hope you're here for the same reason, or close to the same reason. Hopefully you saw the thumbnail and was like, okay, I need to figure this thing out. So I got my notes, got the topic for today, and I'd like to tell you, if you don't know who I am, I'm Coach T-Mac, Tomo McMillan, licensed marriage and family therapist. And I'm hoping that today I'll be able to share something, or that I will share something that will enlighten and strengthen your understanding of what's going on in your life as a single person. As a single dating person, not as a single person that's not really sure, but that's why we want to answer the question. My notes are not that pretty, but why am I still single? Why are you still single? There's a lot of reasons why you're single. We have a lot of reasons in our minds, and we believe that we're single because of a lot of different things. So I'm not going to address all of those. That'll be a lot. But from my time doing therapy, doing couples therapy, doing one-on-one counseling and therapy, and I'm coaching, I have a list that I created, a top 10 list of the top 10 reasons why you're still single. The top 10 mistakes that both men and women make when dating or in the dating process. So it can either be something the reason why I'm pausing for a minute is because a lot of times we like to put blame. We like to say, okay, this is the fault for me being single. This is the fault for me, so I don't want us to think about it that way. Do not think I'm pointing fingers and say, oh, women is your fault, men is your fault, because it's not even about what the other person's fault is. So let's start there. If you do that, that's probably the number one reason why you're single, because you blame somebody else. It is so difficult to be in a relationship if you're blaming the other person. It doesn't matter if you're male, female. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, honestly. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense for some people, like, man, well, it's not my fault. No. The thing is, though, if you're looking outside of yourself to blame, if you're looking outside of what you have control over to make an excuse for it, then 9 times or 8, maybe say 8 times out of 10, I'm not gonna say 9, but 8 times out of 10, that's the major issue, because you're not looking within yourself to resolve it. Now, I wanna say this, I have to say this, because safety is key. If you're being physically abused, if you've been emotionally abused or sexually abused, these top 10, this is not. Now, I will say for you, if you want to sign up for therapy, CoachTeemac.com. Remember, all things Coach T-Mac on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you can find me. If you want to sign up for a one-on-one session, I would recommend something like that. And that's what I'm hoping to. Like, each of these 10 that I shared with you today, each 10, I'll basically end up doing a similar infomercial or teaching on it, or sharing or workshop, because I think they're definitely that important. But today, we're gonna hit you with all 10. Today, I don't know how I'm gonna get through all 10 and stay within my time frame, because I don't like to keep you long. But I am gonna give it a good try. So with that being said, first I'm gonna read them off. And then after I read them off, then that's the teacher in me. First you read them off, and then after you read, so I don't want to make the camera move. Okay, after I read them off, then we're gonna go back and hit them one by one. So the top 10 reasons why both men and women are single are number 1. And I almost want to make this number 1 too. It's one of the top, kind of like, remember how I was saying, like, blaming somebody else? I was just saying that. I mean, you could add that to it, add it as a subcategory for these general ones, because you will see, when I get into it, how blaming somebody else is definitely something that can can keep you from being with somebody, but I don't think it's the main reason why you're single. I was just, saying that as an example, for example. So, one, I want to say, if you are single right now and you're wondering, you're asking this question, I say the number one reason, and probably as you break all these down, is connected to this number one thing, is not knowing yourself. If you don't know who you are, if you don't have an understanding of how you think, if you don't have an understanding of what motivates you, if you don't have an understanding of your likes and your dislikes, if you're like this, if you're up and down, if you're up, even if you don't even realize that you're moody, if you don't realize what it's like for somebody else to have to be with you, then that's the number one reason why you're still single. Because you only think of things. I'm laughing because it's so common. And the reason why it's so common is because you're single. We're single. Most people grow up single. You know what I mean? It's not like you grow up knowing how to be a husband, knowing how to be a wife, knowing how to be a spouse, knowing how to be a partner. You have to learn these things. So most of us, especially if we've been single for a while, we're used to having things our way. And so you have to understand that when you're in a relationship, it's not all about you. Okay. So I said I was going to go through all of them. I'm getting into each one slowly. And I said I'm not going to. Okay, let me get to it. Okay. Number one, not knowing yourself. Number two, rushing to be in a relationship. Number three, not seeing warning signs. As you see what I'm saying? Number four, focusing on one aspect of your partner and not all of your partner, or the person that you're pursuing or that you're seeking to be in a relationship with. Number five, man, some of these are really good. That's why I say it's gonna blow up. Okay, number five, not preparing for a relationship. How could you? Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay, this is good too. I have so much that I want to say. I want to share. Maybe I should do a part 2, part 3, because these are so good. They're so juicy. It's it's like bang, bang, bang. And it's so hard for me to speak on one for just 1 minute. But I'm gonna do my best. And what I may do is just do half, 5, and then 5. Maybe I'll do it that way. But let's see. So number 5, not preparing for a relationship. So between 4 and 5, I put a little thing, because it's the mixture of 4 and 5. If you focus only on one aspect of your partner, and then if you're not preparing for the relationship, and okay, mix number 3 with that too, is overlooking warning signs, is what a lot of people do. And maybe this is a 5 asterisk or 4 asterisk, is lying to yourself. If you are lying to yourself, if you are misleading yourself, if you're not transparent with yourself, that might be, if not the number 1, the number 2 reason why you're still single. And then you see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know yourself, and also if you don't know that you're lying to yourself, or if you lie to yourself on purpose, if you're not who you are. You see how he's getting into that therapy thing? I'm trying not to take y'all there, but you have to know yourself to join yourself with someone else. Have to know yourself, join yourself with someone. I turn it to a song. I have to know yourself to join yourself with someone else. Have to know yourself, join yourself with someone. You have to know yourself to join yourself with someone else. Have to know yourself, join yourself with someone. Have to know yourself, join yourself with someone. Maybe that'll, if I say that over and over again, it'll just resound and resonate. You have to know yourself to join yourself with someone else and do it well. I want to add that part to it because, of course, you can be with 1,000 people. You can be with 1 million people. You can be with 100 million people. If you're not you and you're not completely sure of who you are, and then you're sharing you with someone and you don't know who you are, and you don't know, and you think you know who they are, do you even hear how that sounds? That's why you're still single. It's a lot like matching, and that's what I'm actually going to talk about there too in a whole nother segment. But one of the reasons why you're single, and I'm sure I'm going to get to, I'm so messing this whole list up, but I'm loving it, is when you choose someone that doesn't see the value in you, I don't even know what number that is, but that's a whole nother. I have a series and a book that I'm writing right now. It's called Finding the Right Appraiser. And it's a lot about, or the main focus is not just about you dating, but it's about being able to choose a partner that sees in the value and worth of who you are as a person. So if you're still single, it's probably because you have the wrong appraiser. So let's do it again. That's 1, not knowing yourself. 2, rushing to be in a relationship. 3, not seeing the warning signs. 4, focusing on just one aspect of your partner and not all of your partner. 5, lying to yourself / not preparing for the relationship. If you are lying to yourself, you are not prepared. If you are lying to yourself, you are not ready for a relationship because you're not real. You are offering somebody something that's very shallow. You're offering a shell of, and not even a complete portion and full version of yourself. It's like getting a trial version. You know, when you download the trial version of a video game. I don't know if y'all play video games, but if you ever play video games, or you get the trial version and you get so excited, and then you can only get to certain rooms, and there's only certain windows and certain aspects of the software will open up, and then you can only go to certain levels, and it's like, oh man, I'm so frustrated. It's like I thought I could play the whole game. I thought I was getting everything, and then I'm getting just, and a lot of times I know I was, man, I didn't want to play it anymore. I'll just delete it and everything, and it's like going from another person to another. So many of us have a trial version of ourselves that we're putting out there. Wow. See, I'm actually speaking about, just in case you didn't know, I am single now. I've been divorced for more than 5 years now. And I'm out here too. A lot of these I got not just from doing therapy, because I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I do couples therapy, I do a lot of individual therapy, I do a lot of couples therapy, and in the years of therapy that I've actually done, I've seen these patterns, and so I haven't seen this same list be put out. That's why, something I am going to tell you. A lot of stuff I share with you is not because I just read in a book or something. These are from my life experiences and experiences I had while doing therapy, and these are some of the norms and some of the things that came out. That's why I want to share this. I want to put this information out there because I think so many people that are coming to me, so many people that do come to me and get therapy and get counseling or coaching, they're like asking very similar things, and a lot of the answers to those questions that they're asking, and the main question they're asking, why am I still single, is a lot of this. So we got to 5 again, and now can we get to number 6 total? Okay, CoachTeemac, let's do number 6. Number 6, thinking everyone is the same. I think that's, man, is that number 1? You are still single if you think every single person you date, every single person, including yourself, if you think everybody's like you, if you're thinking everybody's the same, and everybody thinks like you, and everybody should think like you, I'm sure you've had some arguments about that. Like, why don't you think the way I think? No. If you're still single right now, one of the top 10 reasons why you're still single is because you think everybody's the same. And / you think everybody thinks like you. Number 7, not being honest about your priorities. Is this not good? I'm telling you, like, I went into the lab. I'm in the lab now, but I'm not just making every single one. You're like, oh man, yes. It's not for play. That's also why a lot of things that I share, I hope it does compel and motivate and move and stir up things to provoke that better understanding, to provoke that clear definition of self. So of course, you're probably gonna see a link or something somewhere, and so click on it, or you'll see the video. Is how do I know who I am? Who am I? Who do I wanna be? So I'm not just bringing this stuff up and stirring this stuff up and then not prepared to share the answers. So the answers are definitely here too. So it's also where therapy comes in. Remember, all things CoachTeemac, CoachTeemac.com. Facebook, Instagram. Oh yes, if you have not liked yet, please like, comment, share. And it's the thing too, okay, when you're watching this, I rank them 10. You all are gonna see the 10, you're gonna hear the 10. I want you all to tell me in the comments or send me a message, which one of these was the most, I guess, prevalent in your life, or which one was the most poignant, or which one of these 10 mistakes that you find yourself making over and over again. So instead of me reading it, you saying me, because we're not doing it live, I want you to just in the comments say, oh, Coach T-Mac, man, it was this was number 7. Number 7 all day. It was 3, 6, and 9. You know, all of it, 3, 6, 9. You say, anyway, that's another song. So, yes, number 6, thinking everybody's the same and thinking everybody thinks like you. Number 7, not being honest about your priorities is a huge mistake that we all make. Is we say, oh, it's not that big of a deal, and it's not a priority. And you know it's a priority, but you know it makes it hard for you to sleep at night, and you know it irritates you, and you know it gets under your skin and makes it difficult for you to connect with that person. If anything that is happening in a relationship, in a dating type of a relationship, and it makes it challenging for you to connect with that person, that means that's something that you prioritize, and you should resolve that. One of the huge mistakes people make is they say, oh no, I'll just get over it, or it's not that big of a deal. And sure enough, that same thing that made it difficult to connect actually became a source of disconnection. So we don't want to disconnect when we're dating, right? We want to connect. We want to have more and more connections, which will give us that confidence to be in a committed monogamous relationship. So if you're not prioritizing, if you're not prioritizing, well, that's another thing too. That's another mistake that we make. We don't prioritize the things we need to prioritize, and also prioritize ourselves. Some of us lose ourselves in relationships, or some of us are so all about ourselves, we don't consider the other person. What is it, like 35? I think I'm even though I'm going one by one, it seems like I said 30 different things, so I'm never gonna go all this over again. But the main ones are the points that I'm actually making. Number 8 is lying and deceiving to suggest that there's common interest. Let me say that again. It's like putting on a mask. When you put on a mask, or when you lie and when you deceive, because you're trying to make it seem like you're pretending as if you do have things in common with that person. You're still single because of that. Because sooner or later the mask comes off. If that's not you, if that's not what you're really interested in, that's not a common interest that you have, then it's going to become one of those things that's a disconnect. You know what I mean? So it's one of the huge mistakes people make is that they pretend that they have something in common and they really don't have anything in common. So we're almost there. We're 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, why am I still single? Number 9. Okay. So we went to 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now going through those 8, like I said, I was adding probably 3 or 4 more to each. So it's like 24, 32. Now the only reason why I don't go into detail with each one of them because I actually will go back and I will do separate. I probably on each of these 10 top mistakes that both men and women make in dating is because there's a need for it. It's a cover, and there's so much to it. Even though I'm mentioning them, you're like, but what about this? But this? And that's what I'm saying in my mind. But if you look at the general, okay, where are we at? Number 1, not knowing yourself. Number 2, rushing to be in a relationship. If you rush to be in a relationship, that's why you're still single. Number 3, not seeing warning signs. Number 4, focusing on one aspect of your partner and not all of them. Number 5, lying to yourself, not preparing for the relationship. Number 6, thinking everyone is the same and thinking everyone thinks like you. Huge mistake. Number 7, not being honest about your priorities and what's really important to you. Now, there are certain things that are important to us. I'm not saying, there's certain things that are important but are not priorities. When it's a priority, it's like a gang. What they call those deal breakers, things I can't do without, something that will alter my life or something that will make it extremely challenging to be with this person. You have to prioritize that. That is really important. Don't overlook that, because when you do, you're overlooking warning signs. You're not being honest with yourself. All those other things, that's part of the mistake. A lot of these mistakes lead to other mistakes, And that's how I came up with this list. Just this series of mistakes that I was hearing, that I was seeing, that I was making too. I said, let me put something together that will highlight this, because when you know what the mistakes are, then you can remedy them. And that's the goal. Through these workshops, through these trainings, through these seminars, through you signing up for classes, for you signing up for therapy, for coaching, for consulting with me, CoachTeemac, all this, CoachTeemac. Oh yes, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, as I'm saying these, as I'm bringing these up, like, yep, CoachTeemac, that's me, man, that's me all day. That deceived that number 8, pretending that I have a common interest, but I really don't have a common interest. A lot of us do that, we really do, and that's why we're still single. Number 9, not asking your partner what they think. It sounds simple, right? But if you're in a relationship and you're dating, you should ask that other person's perspective. Many of the mistakes are one of the biggest mistakes that we make is just only focusing on our perspective. So the mistake is not asking your partner. And when I say ask, I don't mean just do the lip service. You know how we say, tell me what you want, and then by the time that person finishes talking, you're still doing whatever you want to do. I mean, actually asking and considering. Remember, I add a little caveat. It's to ask that person their perspective and then consider it. Take it into consideration as you're making your decisions, okay? Number 10, okay. I won't say, but we made it to number 10. I don't know. we were in the place, all over the place, back in the place, whatever the place, hey, it is what it is. But here it is. Okay, this is one that I think is more related to me and what I do, and actually what motivated me to get into the YouTube space and get into this, because I was seeing a lot of information coming out that was not helpful. And so what I found that one of the biggest mistakes people make is listening to people that are not credible. You can look up my credentials, you can look up my name, you can go to the website, you can see how I'm vetted with insurance panels, organizations, the council, all this. I'm not getting into my resume. You can do the research, but I'm not playing around. I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm not just saying stuff. That's also why every single one of them, either you have made this mistake or you know somebody that has, don't you? Out of these 10, and maybe it may not, I probably know, I can almost guarantee it. All of y'all watching, you've made at least probably 3 or 4 of these mistakes. So if you're making 3 or 4 of these mistakes, that explains why you're still single. So another reason why you're still single, and it's like a caveat, is when you choose to be single. But part of that is you not being ready, but then it's like you can still choose to not be single. But that's why I say that's not a mistake. That's not always a mistake to choose to be by yourself. Because I think that's a way to resolve some of these and get rid of some of these mistakes, is to take time and love on yourself and fall in love with yourself completely, knowing your mistakes, knowing your flaws. And it also helps when you're able to choose somebody. Remember we talked about that, finding the right appraiser? Now, I promise anybody out here, if y'all try to steal it, you heard it here first. And anyway, even if you try to steal it, you still won't be able to share it the way I share it. Like, I promise, when you see these videos, like, man, I've spent years with this. This is not, I'm just a flash idea. This is years. And so I want to tell you that you can stop being single tomorrow. And I just want to tell you that all these mistakes just go away within seconds. No. Many of these issues that have come up, many of these mistakes that people have made and come to me in therapy sessions, it's taken probably 2 to 3 months of therapy to work through them and get a good strategy, good plans together so that they can eliminate making these mistakes over and over again. And just like I said, each and every one of these mistakes can be remedied, and they will be if you contact me, because no, I mean, this is an option, So let's go back up to the top. Let's go back through them again, because I know we're at that mark. And I know you're just chomping at the bit to say, no, Toma, that's not a mistake. Okay, well, prove me wrong. Comment. Put something in the comments. But I also want you to do this. If you believe this has been helpful, I want you to share this. I want you to push this as much as you are, because I know the information that's out there, and I'm telling you, nobody's saying it like I'm saying it. No one's saying this. And I guarantee you this will be helpful for you. And I can work with you one-on-one to get you support. And like I say, if you don't go with me, you go with somebody else, I'm not mad at you. Choose that professional help, because a lot of and that's another thing too, kind of like with that uncredible others, when you listen to someone that, like maybe maybe you've been through a lot of hurt, maybe you've been through a lot of trauma, maybe you've been like abused, maybe you have been sheltered, maybe the way you view life has only been through somebody that has mistreated you, and you can't trust anybody. It's so difficult for you to trust people, because how many people have mistreated you? But if you think everybody's like that, that's a mistake. If you think everybody's going to hurt you, everybody's against you, to even say that, to think that, it's a sign of you operating out of hurt. And I recommend you get some one-on-one work with that. Like maybe you do some group therapy, but I think some of these issues that I'm bringing, and that's another thing too, a lot of this has stemmed from a lot of issues. I was working with people, and there was a lot of common things I was finding with people that were hurt. And 99% of us have been hurt. I don't like to say 100, but I know I've been hurt. And I know when we are hurt, we begin to protect ourselves. And if you protect yourself, a lot of times you create something that's supposed to prevent you from being hurt. But what it does, it prevents you from being in a relationship. See, I'm trying not to go to another therapy session. I said, I'm bringing it up. Look, I got jewels, I got dimes, I'm dropping them. CoachTeemac, CoachTeemac.com, all things CoachTeemac. It's not for play. I'm for real. I really do this, and I really want to see your life. I want to see our lives adjusted for the better. I want to see that growth, and I see that evidence that your life is being better. So, why am I still single? The top 10 mistakes that both men and women make when dating. Number 1, not knowing yourself. Number 2, rushing to be in a relationship. Number 3, not seeing warning signs. Number 4, focusing on one aspect of your partner and not all your partners. Number 5, not preparing for the relation, not preparing to be in a relationship, not preparing for a relationship, lying to yourself. Maybe I should have said 12. Bad as good. Lying to yourself. Stop. 6, thinking everybody is the same. Everyone thinks like me. Huge mistake. Number 7, not being honest about your priorities. Don't minimize your priorities, and don't allow the person that you're with to minimize them either. If it's really important to you, if it's a deal breaker, or if it's like a life changer, if it's like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that kind of thing, don't pretend that it's not a big issue. Call it what it is, let it be what it is. Number 7, not being honest with yourself, not being honest about your priorities. Number 8, lying and deceiving to suggest common interests. Pretending that you have common interests when you really don't. Wearing masks, all those things, it's the same thing. You're being fake. You're still single because you're not single. You're not complete, you're not whole. You think you have to pretend to be somebody else instead of loving who you are and expressing that version of yourself that's completely and truly you, and being able to find the right appraiser that'll recognize that value in you. I'm done. No, number 9, not asking your partner what they think and incorporating it. So if you continue to make decisions and you don't ask your partner what they think, and if you don't incorporate it, that's one of the main reasons why you're still single. If they, see, the thing is, I can tell you all this because I'm not dating you. This is what you've done. Maybe some of us have done all these 10 plus 10 more, but these are the common things that I promise if you remedy these, you'll be prepared to at least change your status to not be single, and you do it in a healthy way, in a successful way. Number 10, listening to unskilled and unsuccessful others is one of the biggest mistakes. When we listen to Bonkeisha, when we listen to Contrail, when we listen to, if those are your names, I don't know, I'm just saying, or it can be Roger, it can be Steven, it can be Stedman, it can be Philip, I don't know, whatever the name is, it can be Alejandro, it can be Nayeli, I don't know, whoever that person is, I'm just laying name. But if you really know that person does not have the skill, they don't have successful marriages, they don't have a successful dating relationship, if they're not successful, if they don't have the education, they don't have the training and the background to help you with the issues, then stop listening to them. That's a huge mistake that people make, is they'll say, well, so-and-so told me and I thought this and this. And they were getting that information from an unreliable resource. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed this time. Okay. Yes, I have to be true to the timestamp. I know I want to keep going. I know y'all want to, man, but what about this? And so that's something too. Write me, comment down there, say, Coach Teemac, can you talk more about this mistake? Can you talk about this mistake? And I'll do, remember, this is what I'm saying, I am going to do all of them, but if you push it, if I see everybody saying, well, can you do this one? I want to, please comment that. Message me. You can set up for one-on-one consultations, one-on-one sessions. If you want to hire me to be your coach and say, I need to be coached through this dating thing, I can do all of that too. Like I said, the majority, and if not all of them, can be resolved within 3 months. If you sign up for services, you want to receive consultation, coaching, therapy, or counseling from me, you can go to CoachTeemac.com. Find me on all things, #CoachTeemac, and we can make it happen. I say this again and again. I might not be for everybody, but I am for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching Coach Teemac. There's more to come. Yes, I know. I'm so excited. I don't want to stop, but I want to be true to the time. I want to respect your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please continue to share, continue to push it, continue to like, continue to have discussions about all this. Oh yes, also, if you have a platform and you consider yourself to be someone that talks about cultural issues, social issues, and dating problems and dating issues that people have, I would love to come on and share from a clinical perspective and from all the other perspectives that I have as Coach Teemac. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.